Stop visualizing your goals. Seriously, stop right now. Most people are doing it completely wrong, and it's why 92% fail despite clearly picturing their dreams. Think about it. You set goals. You create vision boards. You repeat affirmations. Yet nothing changes. Sound familiar? Meet Marcus. 38 years old, Chicago marketing executive, father of two. Every morning he'd visualize his goals with perfect clarity. Every night he'd realize he made zero progress. His motivation would spike, then crash hours later. The cycle repeated for years. Navy SEALs don't rely on motivation during Hell Week. David Goggins didn't transform from a 300-pound exterminator into an ultra-athlete by feeling inspired. They use something far more powerful. A method rooted in ancient wisdom that creates lasting internal change. Throughout this video, I'll reveal the four-phase Phoenix protocol that bridges ancient Stoic wisdom with modern achievement psychology. This isn't about trying harder. It's about completely rewiring how your brain approaches challenges. The Phoenix principle number 1. External motivation burns bright, then dies. Internal motivation never stops burning. By the 3-minute mark, you'll understand why visualization alone fails and have your first practical tool for bridging mental images with consistent action. At the 5-minute mark, you'll discover the controversial third phase that most gurus never teach. The real secret to unstoppable motivation. Take 5 seconds right now and ask yourself, would I still chase my biggest goal if no one ever knew I accomplished it? Your honest answer reveals everything about your current motivation source. Are you ready to transform your approach to achievement? Let's begin. What really separates those who visualize and succeed from those who visualize and fail? The answer isn't more motivation. It's something much simpler. For Marcus, this gap was painfully obvious. By day, he visualized leading his company's marketing department. By night, he'd find himself scrolling social media instead of working on the presentation that could earn him that promotion. The gap between his vision and his actions grew wider every day. The Phoenix principle number 2. Visualization without a system is just daydreaming. Think about Thomas Edison for a moment. Did he just visualize the light bulb? No. He documented his mental images in detailed notebooks, then created step-by-step processes to make them real. His success came from bridging mental pictures with immediate action. Has this ever happened to you? You visualize your goal, feel amazing for a few minutes, then your day starts and nothing changes. You're stuck in what psychologists call the mental satisfaction trap. What's happening? When you vividly imagine achieving something, your brain releases dopamine, the same reward chemical released when you actually achieve it. Your brain thinks you've already succeeded. This false reward kills your drive to take real action. Do this right now. Think of one goal you've been visualizing. Now, what specific concrete action did you take within 24 hours afterward? Can't remember? That's exactly the problem we're solving today. Marcus faced this exact issue. His visualization sessions felt great, but they were leading nowhere. He needed a bridge between his mental images and physical reality. The first tool of the Phoenix protocol is the control division exercise. Take 10 seconds right now. Mentally sort your biggest challenge into 2 simple categories. Things I can control, things I can't control. This exercise, practiced by modern Stoics like Ryan Holiday every morning, immediately shifts your focus from wishful thinking to actionable steps. For Marcus, this meant stopping his obsession with getting promoted, outside his control, and starting to focus on delivering outstanding work, within his control. When Marcus applied this simple shift, something changed. His anxiety dropped immediately. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the gap between his current position and his goal, he focused solely on the next step he could control. Jim Rohn captured this perfectly. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction right now. Visualization gives you the destination. A system provides the direction. The first week Marcus tried this, he delivered his first presentation without the paralyzing anxiety that had held him back for years. Was it perfect? No. But it was completed, breaking his cycle of visualization without action. Think about your own life. Where are you stuck in visualization without implementation? What's one thing you could control right now that would move you forward? Now that you understand the invisible gap between visualization and achievement, let's explore how the second phase of the Phoenix protocol builds the bridge across this divide. This is where everything changes. Ever notice how motivation feels amazing one day and completely disappears the next? That's because motivation doesn't last. But something else does. 3 months into applying the Phoenix Protocol, Marcus faced his biggest test. The company announced layoffs. Half his team was cut. His workload doubled overnight. His old self would have crumbled under pressure. Instead, something unexpected happened. The Phoenix Principle number 3. Comfort creates weakness. Structured discomfort builds strength. Seneca, one of Rome's wealthiest men, regularly slept on a hard floor and ate plain food. But he discovered something remarkable about the human mind. Voluntarily embracing small discomforts builds resistance to major challenges. Modern science confirms what Stoics knew 2,000 years ago. A Stanford study showed that voluntary discomfort recalibrates your brain's baseline, making ordinary challenges feel easier. This neurological hack transformed David Goggins from fragile to unstoppable. The human body can handle almost anything, Goggins explains, but the mind quits first. By systematically exposing yourself to voluntary hardship, cold showers, difficult workouts, fasting, you don't just overcome momentary discomfort. You literally rewire your brain's relationship with difficulty. If you've stayed with me to this point, you're already outperforming 64% of viewers. And what comes next is worth twice the time investment. After discovering the Phoenix Protocol, Marcus began with a simple comfort challenge. A 30-second cold shower each morning, gradually increasing to 2 minutes. While this seemed unrelated to his career goals, something remarkable happened. After 2 weeks, Marcus noticed work pressures that once overwhelmed him barely registered emotionally. His brain had developed what psychologists call adversity calluses. His discomfort threshold had expanded dramatically. When the layoffs hit, instead of panicking like his colleagues, Marcus felt a strange sense of calm. He'd been training his mind daily to embrace discomfort rather than avoid it. The result? While others froze, he adapted. Try this 10-second exercise. What small, uncomfortable action could you take daily that would build your mental toughness? It should be challenging enough to create discomfort, but not so difficult that it's overwhelming. The Phoenix Protocol formalizes this process into the Comfort Challenge ladder, with 3 progressive levels. 1. Physical discomfort. Cold showers, fasting for 16 hours, taking the stairs. 2. Social discomfort. Direct conversations you've been avoiding, public speaking. 3. Mental discomfort. Tackling your hardest task first thing each morning. Marcus started at level 1 but quickly progressed to level 3. Each morning he'd identify his most difficult task and complete it before checking email. This simple habit completely transformed his productivity and stress levels. The power of structured discomfort isn't just philosophy, it's practical neuroscience. When you voluntarily confront discomfort in structured ways, your brain's threat response decreases while activity in your rational decision-making center increases. This approach works regardless of your goal. Athletes use it to push through training plateaus. Entrepreneurs use it to handle rejection. Artists use it to overcome creative blocks. The application changes, but the principle remains the same. But there's a critical element missing that separates those who succeed from those who simply endure pointless suffering. This missing element leads us to the 3rd phase of the Phoenix Protocol, the one most personal development experts never discuss. The 3rd phase of the Phoenix Protocol contains perhaps the most powerful yet uncomfortable technique in Stoic philosophy, one so confronting that most modern self-help gurus avoid teaching it entirely. It's called Memento Mori, remember you must die. This isn't morbid, it's clarifying. And it changed everything for Marcus. 6 months into his Phoenix Protocol practice, Marcus faced his biggest crisis yet. His entire department was eliminated during a corporate restructuring. At 38, with 2 kids in private school and a mortgage, he found himself unemployed for the first time in his adult life. The Phoenix Principle number 4. Death is the ultimate deadline. It makes the important urgent. Ryan Holiday carries a Memento Mori coin as a daily reminder of life's finitude. This practice isn't about creating fear, quite the opposite. It's about gaining instant perspective that cuts through life's trivialities and reveals what truly matters. When Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire, he had a servant whisper, "Remember, you are mortal," during victory parades. Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson practiced regular reflection on mortality to sharpen their focus on meaningful contribution rather than fleeting pleasures. For modern Marcus, this practice created his breakthrough moment. During a Memento Mori reflection, he asked himself, "If I learned I had only 5 years left to live, would I spend them chasing another corporate job I don't love?" The answer was immediately clear. No. This clarity transformed his job search from desperate to deliberate. Rather than applying to hundreds of positions that offered status but little meaning, he focused on organizations aligned with his values and skills. Try this 5-second exercise right now. Close your eyes briefly and fast forward to the end of your life. Looking back, what will you regret not attempting? What contribution will you wish you had made? The psychological impact of this brief reflection is profound. A 2021 study found that mortality reflection significantly increases intrinsic motivation, the desire to pursue goals for their inherent value rather than external rewards. This shift changes everything. For Marcus, it meant completely reevaluating what success looked like. His previous definition revolved around title, salary, and status. His new definition focused on impact, purpose, and alignment with his deepest values. When Steve Jobs said, "Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life," he was practicing this exact Stoic principle. The Memento Mori practice within the Phoenix Protocol typically takes just 5 minutes weekly. Most people find Sunday evenings ideal, as this reflection naturally guides planning for the week ahead. You simply contemplate life's finitude, then review your current priorities and actions with this perspective. While most motivation systems focus exclusively on the positive, visualizations of success and abundance, the Phoenix Protocol integrates this essential counterbalance. This creates a motivation system that mirrors reality rather than fantasy, making it vastly more effective. You're now exploring material that less than 2% of people will ever encounter. If you've made it this far, you're demonstrating the rare quality that separates achievers from dreamers. Marcus used this practice to completely reframe his job loss. Instead of seeing it as a catastrophe, he recognized it as an opportunity to realign his career with his true priorities. But even with this clarity and perspective, he still needed a method for translating these insights into consistent action. This brings us to the fourth and final phase of the Phoenix Protocol. The fourth phase of the Phoenix Protocol is what Ryan Holiday calls the ultimate psychological tool, and what allowed David Goggins to complete brutal ultramarathons despite broken bones. It's called Amor Fati, love of fate, and it transformed how Marcus responded to losing his job. The Phoenix Principle number 5. The obstacle is the way. What blocks the path becomes the path. This principle doesn't just help you endure difficulties, it teaches you to embrace them as necessary for your growth. As Friedrich Nietzsche expressed it, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but love it. This isn't positive thinking or denial. It's a profound acceptance that transforms resistance into flow. When you stop fighting against reality and start looking for advantages within challenges, your entire relationship with difficulty changes. Consider how this principle manifested in American history. When Thomas Edison's laboratory burned down, destroying years of work, his response was remarkable. At age 67, surveying the ruins, he said, "There is great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned up. Thank God we can start anew." Within 3 weeks, he was back in production. The Phoenix Protocol formalizes this approach through the obstacle as advantage practice, which has 3 specific steps. 1. For every setback, ask, how is this necessary for my growth? 2. Identify 3 specific advantages this problem creates. 3. Take one action that leverages this setback as a springboard. When Marcus applied this to his job loss, everything shifted. Instead of viewing unemployment as failure, he asked how this setback might be necessary for his growth. The answer surprised him. This job loss freed him to pursue his long-suppressed desire for entrepreneurship. He'd always wanted to start a marketing consultancy but never had the courage to leave his corporate job. He identified 3 clear advantages. First, he now had time to launch his business. Second, he could collect severance while getting started. Third, he had fresh insights into corporate marketing needs from his insider experience. His action step was creating a minimal viable consulting service focused on his area of expertise, digital transformation marketing. He reached out to 5 former clients that same day. Within 3 months, Marcus had 4 consulting clients. Within 6 months, his income exceeded his previous salary. The job loss that initially seemed disastrous had become the catalyst for greater achievement and satisfaction. Try this quick exercise. Think of a recent setback you've experienced. How might this obstacle be necessary for your growth? What advantage might be hidden within it? What one action could leverage this setback? This practice doesn't just change outcomes. It transforms the experience of difficulty itself. When David Goggins completed his first ultramarathon with broken bones in his feet, he didn't merely endure the pain. He embraced it as the very thing forging his extraordinary mental toughness. The key distinction of this fourth phase is that it eliminates the resistance that drains mental energy. When you stop fighting against challenges and start working with them, you access what psychologists call flow state, the optimal condition for performance where action becomes effortless. For most people, obstacles trigger stress, resistance, and avoidance. Their energy depletes rapidly as they fight against reality. But practitioners of Amor Fati experience the opposite. Challenges energize them because they see the growth opportunity within every difficulty. 1 year after implementing the complete Phoenix protocol, Marcus had transformed from a chronically stressed corporate executive to a successful business owner with greater income, more family time, and a deep sense of purpose. The obstacles he once feared had become the very stepping stones to his success. This completes the 4-phase Phoenix protocol. From understanding the visualization implementation gap, to building resilience through structured discomfort, gaining perspective through Memento Mori, and finally transforming obstacles into advantages through Amor Fati. You've now discovered the complete Phoenix protocol, the ancient Stoic system for transforming fleeting mental images into unstoppable daily habits. Let's integrate these 4 powerful phases into a practical daily system. 1. Morning. Begin with the control division exercise, 2 minutes. Sort your challenges into what you control versus what you don't. 2. Daily. Complete 1 comfort challenge from your current ladder level. 3. Weekly. Practice a brief Memento Mori reflection, 5 minutes. 4. For each setback, apply the obstacle as advantage practice, 3 minutes. This system works because it addresses the fundamental flaw in most motivation approaches. It's not about forcing yourself to work harder. It's about recalibrating your motivation source from external to internal. Remember Marcus? His journey from stressed executive to fulfilled entrepreneur wasn't easy. He faced rejection, uncertainty, and self-doubt. But the Phoenix protocol gave him tools to transform each obstacle into an advantage. The Phoenix has deep roots in American culture. From the founding fathers who rose from colonial subjugation to NASA's Phoenix missions exploring the unknown. This symbol represents the quintessential American ability to rise from adversity stronger than before. What makes this protocol different is that it works with your brain's hardware, not against it. External motivation techniques inevitably fail because they rely on dopamine systems that naturally deplete. The Phoenix protocol builds lasting internal motivation by rewiring your relationship with discomfort, perspective, and obstacles. Be realistic about your timeline. Expect initial shifts in your first 21 days of practice, with significant transformation becoming evident around the 90-day mark. This isn't instant manifestation, it's systematic achievement. As Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. With the Phoenix protocol, you now have the system to transform any vision into reality through the perfect integration of ancient Stoic wisdom and disciplined action. If you found value in the Phoenix protocol, hit subscribe to join our community of modern Stoics. Remember the Phoenix principles. 1. External motivation burns bright, then dies. Internal motivation never stops burning. 2. Visualization without a system is just daydreaming. 3. Comfort creates weakness. Structured discomfort builds strength. 4. Death is the ultimate deadline. It makes the important urgent. 5. The obstacle is the way. What blocks the path becomes the path. Hey incredible growth seekers! Wow, what a journey! If this video resonated, subscribe now for more life-changing content. Join our community of self-improvers. Smash that like button to fuel more content on mindfulness, goal setting, and emotional intelligence. Share this video to create a ripple of positive change. Comment below about your growth journey. Your insights shape our content. Next week, boosting self-confidence and overcoming limiting beliefs. Don't miss it. Every interaction brings us closer to a world of empowered individuals. Let's make personal development global. Stay inspired, keep growing. Your best self awaits. Let's unlock it together.